We're at the state capitol in Salem. The Capitol Dome rises 106 feet above the state seal in the rotunda. It features a design of 33 stars symbolizing Oregon as the 33rd state in the Union. Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. Our next guest says history is being made due to the split House. Please welcome Bruce Hanna, co-speaker of the House. You want to talk about something called co-governance. Tell me what that means.
Co-governance for Oregonians is history in the process, history being made. It is simply said that in Oregon's history, there has never been an exact balance in the House of 30 members from each party, and it is a process by which we agreed to share the Speaker's office.
Now, you have a lot of naysayers. What are they saying, and what is your reaction to that?
The naysayers were you could never agree on rules for managing floor sessions, and yet we had a near unanimous vote for rules. The naysayers were everything from you'll never agree on the committees to assign or the people to run them. We're past that, and we've assigned all the bills. The session is starting. I'm very optimistic about a co-governance model.
Before I ask you to comment on the governor's budget that was released February 1st, I want you to talk about something that we should be thinking about, which is the rebalance of the 09 through 11 budget.
Well, that's right, Ken. You know, the legislature's got the responsibility to come back to Oregonians with a balanced budget. Next Tuesday, you'll have the final revenue forecast. So what we have is most of the numbers in place for how you rebalance spending and appropriations to agencies, and we'll get a forecast number to plug in. That'll tell us what revenue we have to use or whether we drop back and use any kind of reserve fund. So it's the topic of conversation among our Ways and Means folks, and I'm looking forward to getting past that and looking forward to the 11-13 cycle.
Are you going to see a push to reconnect to the federal tax code?
We have a couple of issues as it applies to the tax code for the federal government. Again, in the rebalance, you've got some issues to deal with regarding specifically probably the largest item that Oregonians are concerned about. It's about $10 million cost, but it is for tuition revenue. So do people who are underemployed, unemployed, who are out there trying to get their education, are they able to write off the cost of that tuition? So that's an issue in the rebalance. Looking forward then, for 11-13, the state would be back connected to the federal tax code. It's my hope, and I think the hope of most business, that we would stay in that spot.
What are your thoughts on the governor's budget?
Well, several things about the governor's budget and about him personally. Simply is, I've never been, as a legislator, so enthused about the opportunity to participate with the governor, to sit down face to face and have the conversations we've been invited to have, to share our ideas and to believe that they're being heard. I think the governor started in the right place, simply saying, here's the revenue we currently have, what's available. Let's not get looking too far forward or making plans for money that we don't have. He has established his budget from the place which includes the reductions that we've taken, because all the way through this past biennium we've had a reduction in revenue. The current forecast for 11-13 says we'll have about $1.2 to $1.4 billion of new money, and he's saying let's start where we are today, add back those new dollars, and not go past that. I like where he's at.
Two things going against you, the shortened session and the split House. How optimistic are you that things will get done?
Well, the shortened session I like. I think it puts a little pressure on us, so I'm used to working in that environment. I think it makes people be deliberative. Speaker Roblin and I are encouraging our co-chair pairs, as we call them, the managers of our committees, to hear legislation that is of most importance to Oregonians. So we're saying do those things that have an opportunity to move, and as a lower priority, hold back, because your timeline is short. So you got to look at that and say, let's move legislation that has the opportunity to pass. Because we have the balance, and because you have co-chair pairs in those committees, the optimism I share is that in order to get a piece of legislation through a balanced House, it has to have a real breadth of appeal. You can't have a far left proposal, you can't have a far right proposal. You got to get enough members from both sides to move it.
All right, Bruce Hanna, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being here as well on Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Ken Ackerman. Make it a great day.